Hey, Wrangler 4xe fans. I'm going to do a little project today. Actually, this isn't unique to the 4xe. This could be done on any vehicle, not just a Jeep, but I'm going to do a little project today on mine of adding electrically, hooking up these lights so that they turn on with my reverse lights. Now, I've had these things on here for a couple weeks, and I've been thinking about how I wanted to wire these things up. I actually want to wire them up in two different ways. One, I want them coming on with my reverse lights, but I'd also like to have manual control via an aux button up in the front. I'm going to save that for another day. Today, I'm mainly going to focus on getting them to turn on when I turn my reverse lights on. And I had this whole convoluted idea of how to do it with a relay and running power from the front, up at the battery and back. And I was working through all that. And then it dawned on me that, hey, I have the factory tow package. And inside of that is the 7-pin trailer wire harness. The middle pin in that actually has reverse light option on it. So if you had a trailer that had reverse lights on it, it would activate those. And looked up the specs on that, you can run up to 20 amps out of that thing. So it's a different, I don't know if it's a different circuit or if it's a relay off of that circuit. I don't know how it works inside, but I know I have 20 amps available to me that will turn on with my reverse lights. So I decided that was what I was going to use. But then I had to figure out where that wire harness is. Oddly enough, it's right inside this tail light that it passes down through there before it heads down underneath. So we're going to pop that tail light off, get into that harness, and I'll show you how that looks here in a minute. So in one of my other videos recently on YouTube, I showed you how to get this tail light removed. There is a little plug here you got to get out of the way, and down in there is a screw. That is the only screw that holds that tail light on. And we'll get our tools out here, our little kit that comes with your Jeep. And you'll be able to see exactly how this works. Is you take your little socket and stick it in here, and this little screw will come out, and I'll unscrew that in the next take. You'll see how this looks. Now inside here, I've already opened up this wire. This is the harness that goes down to the hitch down here, or the trailer wiring down here up underneath the vehicle right there. That is that wiring harness, and as you can see, there are several wires in there. And what I need to figure out is which wire is it that is going to give me the voltage when I turn on my reverse lights. So how are we going to figure that out? I'll show you a really quick, easy way here. We're going to crawl up underneath here and look at the back of this wiring harness. And you can see all the colors that are involved. There's a black wire, there's our ground, and I think that's just a constant hot that if you had a trailer that has a battery in it or whatever, that'll charge it up. And in there in the middle, I don't know if you can see that wire in there in the middle, it looks like a white with maybe an orange stripe on it. If I can say that's orange. And if we go back here, we should find a matching wire that is a white with an orange right there. So that'll be our wire that we take our power from for our lights. And I'll wire that up and you can see how that looks in the next take. Okay, I'm at that stage in the project. I have wired the lights themselves. And if you aren't familiar with the tailgate, on the JL Wranglers anyway, there are a couple places that you can run wires in. Sorry, this thing's so dirty. I never watch behind the spare tire, you never see it. And there's one over here too. I have already run my little GMRS antenna through this side, and this side has the tail light harness going up to it. So I've kind of accompanied that. All this will be hidden behind the spare tire. You never see any of this stuff. But I put the loom in there, and my splices are the weatherproof, shrinkable kind of splices. And I went ahead and covered them in a layer of the, like that shrink tubing over top of the splices, and then the loom over top of that, just to make it really protected. Ran that inside the tailgate, and of course I've got the piece taken off that normally goes in there, and comes around here, hits that little spot where the wiring from the factory goes in here, And I've got my wiring pulled up to here, and I'll show you in the next clip how we get that down into the taillight and get this all wired up. So all this plastic stuff can pull off. I'm trying to avoid pulling that off if at all possible, because it's just kind of a pain to get back on, but I did get in here. There's a spot where the factory wiring goes down in through the body, and that comes in right up underneath here in the top of the tail light. So that's where we're gonna shoot for, and in the next clip hopefully I'll have those wires run. But here we are, we've got that wire ran all the way around and everything tucked back in, and we've got it spliced into our trailer harness wiring there, and let's see if this thing works. Well, there's the project in a nutshell. Instead of using any kind of power from the existing reverse lights, which I you know, for all I know, that could be the same circuit, but I wasn't going to risk tapping in to those, not knowing what kind of current, max current could come off the existing reverse lights. So using that trailer wire connection, knowing it has 20 amps available and knowing I only need less than 3 amps to run these two lights, it really works out well that way. So there's the project in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll have to add some video at night so we can see how they do. So I'm continuing on with this video after saying I wasn't going to wire that switch up and I was going to do that another time. I decided to go ahead and do that today for my lunch break at work. So I've already wired, I probably should have showed you all this. If you don't know, the aux wiring, it shows up in two places in the Jeep Wrangler JL. It's up underneath here, up underneath the passenger footwell, and it also shows up here under the hood beside the battery. They're in there. Now, there are only 4 of them out there. There are 6 in the footwell, and what the other 2 do that show up in the footwell, one is a constant 12 volts, and one it just turns on and off when you start the vehicle and turn it off. It's ignition based. So in case you want to wire something, that's a little added tidbit. So I went ahead and ran a wire. I ran it inside. I ran it kind of underneath the plastic all the way down through here, all the way down through here, and got it up behind the plastic, all this stuff, and got it all tucked in, and spliced it that same point I showed you earlier in the video. And so now I actually proved something. In this video you're going to see overlaying here, I'm putting the vehicle in reverse, and you can see both my factory reverse lights and my new lights come on together, and then I turn on the aux 3 that I hooked it to, and only my auxiliary lights are turning on, which tells me that that is 2 different circuits, or there's a relay involved at least. There may be a relay, a factory relay off of the reverse circuit that activates the trailer harness separately. And that makes it really nice for this project because I didn't have to use any relays or diodes or anything like that. I was just able to wire it up and make it all work. All right, here we are at night. Let's take a look at how the reverse lights on the Wrangler 4xe do. We're sitting here in a parking lot. There is a building back behind me. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll put the reverse lights on. These are just the factory reverse lights, and we'll see how bright it is in our mirror. And out the back, not very bright. And in the next clip, we'll see what it looks like with my additional lights. All right, here we are in the same parking lot in the same place. I'll put the vehicle in reverse. You can see the lights are not as spotty as they look in the camera. They're a little more flood, but they are pretty bright. And you can see in the mirror, they get really bright. And you can see that building behind me. Now I'm going to pull forward, and we're going to pull forward to the other end of this parking lot. And we'll put the vehicle in reverse. And as you can see, it really lights up back there. You can see in the mirrors, and You know, this is the side view mirror right there. So really, really impressive light back behind the vehicle. You can really see what's going on now. And like I said before, I do have these on my aux 3, so I can turn those on and off at will if I have something going on. Like actually I used them tonight. The lady hit a deer and some guys were stopping to help, and I stopped and kind of lit up the area for them. And so kind of handy. And that is the project in a nutshell. And I just wanted to thank you for watching. Take care.